as you know from the intro, it was quite an adventure having Reno III, and everybody who was involved has recorded their side of the story. So I'm gonna put those all together for you so you can get the full picture of what really happened.
So it's been a couple weeks. Let me tell you, this labor and delivery was very dramatic, as I like to say. So the day before, I had an appointment with my OB. There was 0 signs of labor. We were actually talking about induction. I had a doctor's appointment scheduled the next week to be induced and all this stuff. And then the next day on the 26th, that morning, I woke up, go bathroom as always, because when you're 9 months pregnant, you pee, a lot. And I got a sign that I was going into labor. So I went back into bed, didn't think anything of it. I'm thinking, okay, it'll be a couple days. That's what the internet tells you. That morning I wake up, it's like probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I start getting contractions, but they're very mild and they're maybe like 30 minutes apart. Nothing crazy. I'm thinking, okay, I'm in the early stages of labor. I probably won't even go into the hospital till the next morning, because everybody tells you with your first, it takes a while. Labor takes a while. You're in labor for a couple days and then you give birth. It is May 26th and I am having some contractions, so it is baby time. But not time to go to the hospital yet, because they're like 20 something minutes apart. They're not anywhere close together, but they definitely don't feel nice. So here we are.
I was one of the lucky ones that got to be in the hospital with Jessica when she had baby Reno. I got a text from her that morning and she told me that she thought she was in labor. So all day we were texting back and forth and asking her how she was doing and how close they were.
Hi Garcia family, this is my take on the day Jessica went into labor, and I first just want to say I feel very honored and I count it a blessing to go through this day with you. It was wonderful. It was such a wonderful memory I will carry for the rest of my life. And actually I can see the day that Reno III gets married, we will be talking about this. So Jessica, you came to the house, we were just kind of talking, and you're having contractions, and this was earlier in the day before Reno even got home from work. And this is what I loved during this time, is we were just talking, and then all of a sudden it got quiet and I look up and you're having a contraction, and you were so beautiful. You were so sweet and so gentle. And I loved the app you had, because you kept touching the app and it gave you the time frames, and all of that was pretty cool. So you went home.
So as the day went on, they started getting closer together, but nothing super crazy. So they were about 20 minutes apart, then 15 minutes apart. So then at that point I started tracking them, and I have a lovely app that tells me how far apart they are and how long they lasted. Well, by the time it got to about 5:30, 5:45, they were about 10 minutes apart, but they were lasting almost 2 minutes long. They were between 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes long, and they were getting really painful at this point. We were at our pastor's house because on Wednesdays we eat dinner with them. They feed us, it's really nice. So I'm laying on their couch because the contractions are getting worse.
I'm Reno and Jessica's neighbor, and along with Stephen Kelly, we usually eat dinner at Stephen Kelly's house on Wednesday night. And so I went over to their house. Everything seemed pretty typical, except for the fact that Jessica said she had been feeling some contractions starting, and so she was laying on the couch.
And you came to dinner that night, and Brittany was there also. She came a little bit later, but Molly wasn't with us that night. And we were just eating dinner, and Steve had asked, he's such a jokester, and he had asked, do we have to be quiet when you go through a contraction?
We were on a Wednesday, and we were just sitting around the house eating with the Garcia family. And Jessica was going into some labor pains, let's just say. And so every, 10, 15 minutes, she would stop the conversation and we would just sit there and wait for her to be done with the pain. And now time goes on and she eats a little bit and we're still eating but you just see the pain on her face every 10, 15 minutes. And we know that she's going through contractions and we we don't just figure it out, but we know what's going on. And so we're really in a point of, well, I hope, we'll get to the hospital, we'll do something when they get a little closer together. And so we're eating, kind of being quiet. And of course, I'm making jokes and really Jessica didn't want to hear that. And maybe the word shut up comes up a couple of times during that, but it wasn't just for me, it was for Reno too.
All of a sudden you had a contraction and he was making his comments and I was making my comments of how beautiful you were and Rita was laughing, and then all of a sudden you hear this, shut up. And that just started the whole episode of labor and delivery for you.
And my wife is being compassionate with her. And when I'm just like, you know what, in about 40 minutes, I've got a prayer night I got to get to, and we're going to have to do that. And hopefully Jessica can last through. And then maybe after prayer, maybe we'll get ready and, they'll go to the hospital and have little baby Reno.
So I'm laying on their couch because the contractions are getting worse. And I decide, okay, I'm gonna call labor and delivery and see what they say. So I call and I'm like, hey, they're about 10 minutes apart, my contractions. However, they're lasting really long and they're super painful. But they tell me, you have to be about 2 to 3 minutes apart, and that's when you come in. You'll know when you're in active labor. So at that point, I'm crying because I want to go in. So then I hang up on the phone. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just wait it out and see what happens. Well, about 2 minutes later, they started coming every minute to 30 seconds.
I was thinking, they're probably bad, but they're not that bad. Well, the advice nurse agrees with me and says, oh no, you need to wait until the contractions are 2 to 3 minutes apart. And you'll know when you're having the baby because you are not gonna be able to talk, you're gonna be too busy crying. Well, as soon as Jessica hangs up, that's exactly what happens. So at this point, I call the advice nurse back and she sends me to labor and delivery. However, I'm on hold for like 6 minutes.
We started to pray as staff, and as soon as Steve just began his prayer, dear God, we just want to thank you for, something's not right. That's when we were like, all right, we're not going to be praying right now as a group. Kelly instantly was up and on the couch with Jessica. Okay, what can we do? And things just started accelerating from there. Reno grabbed the car, grabbed their stuff they needed for the hospital, and the baby was moving fast.
So it was progressing really fast. And then it started to feel like I needed to push, and I felt a burning sensation. So I knew something was not right.
So he sat down, I'm like, honey, are you okay? And you're like, no, it's so different. There's something wrong. I'm gonna have this baby now.
And this is where our house got a little kind of confused. Brittany had come over, our worship leader, and so it's Jessica on the couch and Kelly over there comforting me and Reno, trying to figure out what we're supposed to do. We're gonna start getting the car ready to maybe take her to the hospital. And Brittany's just asking what she could do.
I'm trying to figure out what to do because I'm just on hold. So Kelly takes the phone from me and Steve goes, why don't you go get the car and we'll just load her up and we'll just take her.
Triage nurse was like, oh no, you need to call 911, do not delay. So at that point we call 911 because we're thinking this baby is coming.
Kelly was like, you guys, somebody needs to call 911. I don't care who it is, just call 911, basically. So I was like, I can call 911. Okay, that's simple enough. I call 911 and they're, hi, what's your emergency? And I'm like, my friend is going into labor. And they're like, all right, where is she now? I begin to describe the situation. They're like, remain calm. We're gonna walk you through this. And I'm like, yeah, you called an ambulance. I think we're good. And they're like, no, so grab a towel. I'm like, okay. I saw Kelly and Steve had already grabbed a towel, and they're like, now you're gonna want some blankets. I'm like, okay. And they're like, now you're gonna wanna grab a shoelace or a string or anything really, so that you can wrap it around the umbilical cord. And I'm like, oh, y'all are like serious. Like, you're walking me through how to deliver a baby.
This is getting more serious, and now they're saying you're probably delivering this baby on the couch, and I'm trying not to panic as I run to the church to go get rubbing alcohol, because I was told that we're gonna need that to disinfect disinfect everything. So that was a little nerve-wracking.
I'm like, this is not going to happen. First of all, Reno doesn't like anything sticky, gooey, anything on his hands that has any kind of texture to it. He doesn't eat hamburgers with his hands because they're too greasy and oily, and so he eats it with a fork. This guy is not going to deliver a baby. Now, he would be pressed into service because I'm not going to deliver that baby.
Number one, the blanket is for the mom so that we can cover her. No, the nurse says. It's so the dad can catch the baby. Okay. Number one, the blanket is so the dad can catch the baby. And I hand Reno the blanket, and his eyes, mind you, are this big. But I'm not thinking about it at that moment.
He had texted me and told me that she was going to have the baby on Steve and Kelly's couch. And so if I wanted to be there, that I needed to get there now.
I didn't expect to have like a birthing class 101 when Kelly asked me to call 911. I thought I was only supposed to give an address and tell them what the problem was, not actually be walked through and how to deliver a baby.
The ambulance showed up, and we were all very thankful that the ambulance showed up. I'm sure Reno was very thankful too, because he did not want to deliver that baby, and he was about 5 minutes to delivering this baby.
Fortunately, the ambulance comes right away, and when they get here, I am relieved, because now I don't have to deliver this baby. Even if it happens at this house, it is not going to be me.
And they're walking in, and I'm like, okay, we survived. Listen, we survived because these guys are here. We're not going to have to do any of this deliver baby stuff that this nurse is saying that we're going to have to do.
So they come, they get me into the ambulance, and we go to the hospital. So we're in the ambulance, and I keep telling them, I feel like the baby's right there. They keep checking me. The head's not there, but they said if the head was there, I would have to deliver in the ambulance, which I was not wanting to do.
They finally get her all up onto the gurney, roll her out. Of course, now we've got the neighbors all around going, what's going on over at the church house?
The paramedics come, and I can just see Jessica go, not that she really is relaxed, but she did do that. The paramedics come in the door, and I just remember it just seemed like this heaviness went away, right?
So we're in the ambulance, and the whole time Jessica's going, I can feel the baby. The baby's coming right now. And the guy keeps checking. And says, okay, no, there's no baby yet, but you know, it's probably close. And he's going, he looks to me, because I'm also in the ambulance, and he goes, I'm prepared to deliver this baby, but I really don't want to. And I'm just thinking to myself, better you than me, because 10 minutes ago, I was delivering this baby. At least you're trained for this and not going to be doing it with a blanket and whatever we use to tie off the umbilical cord like a shoestring.
And the paramedics were really not wanting to deliver the baby. They were like, you know, we are prepared to deliver this baby, but we really don't want to. Can we make it to the hospital?
We got there just in time as the ambulance got there, and then Reno texted us and told us not to come to meet them at the hospital because they were getting in the ambulance, and that she was going to be going back to the hospital, or to the hospital. So we turn around, flew down the freeway to the hospital. When we got there, they weren't there yet.
Steve let Reno know to go in the ambulance, and the ambulance men were like telling Reno to take his car and to follow them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Reno's in no shape to be driving. And Steve says, you know what, he's going in the ambulance with his wife. And I look over and I see Jessica, and her hair's just blowing and her eyes are like this big, and I'm like, sir, to the ambulance guy, look at his wife. See those eyes? She wants her husband there. And off they went.
We get to the hospital and we are met by the manager of the hospital and a whole team of people, and as Jessica's getting out of the ambulance, the security guard wants to stop her because you gotta realize this is COVID time and he needs to take her temperature and get her checked in. And the manager goes, you're doing a good job, but you're not gonna do it right now. And the guy's like, okay. So we blow through all of the security checkpoints. We go straight into the elevator. He uses his key card. We go all the way up to the triage room in labor and delivery. And those people acted like they didn't even know we were coming. And the guy's like, we need a room now. And the guy's like, that one. So room 4 it was.
So they get me up to labor and delivery, get me into a triage room, and they check me, and the nurse says I am 10 centimeters with a bulging bag. So I was fully ready to go, however, my water did not break. And I think that's what stopped him from coming that fast. So they get me into labor and delivery, and I keep telling them, I want drugs. I do not want to do this without drugs. And they're like, well, you can still get the epidural. However, you have to hold still. Well, I was getting contractions every 30 seconds. It was not. I knew in my head that I was not getting drugs, but I was really hopeful that I would get drugs. But unfortunately, that did not happen.
So we waited for them to get there, and when she did, they took her inside and they checked her out, and I tried to get in because I was supposed to be in there. The guard at the door wouldn't let me in yet, but he did take my driver's license and my information so I would be all ready to go. When I got a text message from Reno, or actually Reno called me and said, okay, you can come in now, you know, she's getting ready to have it. And so I tried to go in the door again, and the guard wouldn't let me in. So he said he had to get on the computer and check it out. And I was on the phone to Reno, and I said, I am not going to miss this birth. And I said, I get to be one of the people, and I am going to be there. And so he finally said, then Reno said, I'm coming to get you in the elevator. So start walking down the hallway. So I started walking, and then the guard finally said, okay, I'll take you, you know. And so he walked me down the hallway, got me in the elevator. I got up there just in time.
So what happens is that, okay, we decide we're not doing drugs. So like, okay, we're gonna break your bag and we're gonna push. So they're asking me, do you want to break your bag? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? You know, I'm getting these contractions every 30 seconds. I'm not knowing what's happening. So finally Reno and his mom, who happened to be up there as well, because I could have 2 people in the room with me now, are like, yes, break her bag. So they break my bag, and I am pushing, and I probably pushed maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most, and he came right out. And he came very fast. I guess Reno said that the nurse said his head was coming out, and the midwife turned and was putting on her smock or whatever she needed to deliver the baby. And I guess when she turned right back around, the baby came right out, and he just kind of shot out, apparently. So, yes, the labor and delivery was very fast and very traumatic and drugless. Thankfully, I'm healthy, and he's obviously healthy and everything, and I'm very thankful it's over. I know a lot of people tell you, oh, you'll forget, your labor, you'll forget this. I don't think I'm forgetting that one. That was not the plan that I had. That I still can't believe I did that. I know, you know, our bodies are meant to do that, and I did it, but it was very terrifying. And the moment you realize I have to do this without drugs is a very terrifying moment, because I did not want to feel anything. And here I am, I felt everything. And yes, there was tearing. They stitched me up for probably almost an hour. Apparently there was an artery that ruptured and they had to find it because I was losing a lot of blood. Not enough to need a transfusion, but enough to make me very weak. Throughout the stay in the hospital, I could barely stand, I could barely walk. They actually had to check my blood to see if I needed iron or a blood transfusion. Thankfully, I just needed iron, which was really nice. But like, I couldn't even go to the bathroom by myself. I had to have a nurse come in and help me because I would pass out just walking to the toilet. It was really, really interesting. But yeah, that is our lovely labor and delivery. I know some people say, oh, you know, you're lucky it went fast, but it went really fast. I'm thankful it's over. I'm thankful he's healthy. I'm thankful I'm healthy. We're on the mend. We are recovering, and I'm super excited and happy that he is here. Babies are coming soon.
Nope.
Nope. You're in denial?
But the command hook is coming.
Yay!
Okay, where is this going?
The center of this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's like measuring and stuff. But you know what? Look, there's a line.
Okay.
How about that?
Is that line is center?
It's centered to me.
Okay.